Welcome to your Tuesday edition of Jamaica Magazine. I'm your host, Adrian Atkinson. The vision for Jamaica is one with an internationally competitive economy, a secure and cohesive society, a healthy natural environment, a high level of human capital development, and greater opportunities for social and economic mobility and prosperity. In today's show, we look at how individuals and the government are working towards this goal. Stay with us for more. Respect for myself and others. Self-discipline means there's a right way to conflict resolution. Kindness and compassion say being nice is normal. Honesty and integrity are badges of honor. Yes, we choose values for life.
Good day, I'm Theodore Henry, and this is your JIS News for Tuesday, September 13, 2022. Prime Minister Andrew Holness says government is moving ahead with its efforts to implement the Jamaica Teaching Council JTC bill. The Prime Minister gave the confirmation on Friday during a face-to-face town hall on education matters. The bill, which is now before the House of Representatives, is intended to streamline the education sector and improve the teaching profession. However, there have been concerns raised about the legislation. Prime Minister Holness addressed the issues at the education town hall, saying the bill, which went through a series of consultations, was meant to empower teachers and bring structure to the profession. He asserts that once the systems are standardized, teachers will become more marketable.
The bill was not intended to criminalize anyone. It wasn't intended to take away the power of the teacher in the school or the classroom. It wasn't intended to overburden the teacher with regulations. It was about empowering the teacher in an orderly, structured way to give order and form to the profession of teaching. In the same way that there is order and form to the profession of medicine, the profession of nursing, the profession of accounting, that was the intent.
Still on education, approximately $29 million has been set aside to conduct targeted evaluation and intervention for 7,000 students with special needs. These students are in the Sixth Form Pathway 2 and 3 programs. Acting Chief Education Officer Dr. Casson Troop says it is part of the wide range of services and support being offered by the Education Ministry's Special Needs Unit.
We have, I think, 11 special needs exclusive schools in the government sector, and we partner with 17 private exclusive special education institutions, and we place students based on their diagnosis.
She was responding to questions during the Office of the Prime Minister's face-to-face town hall meeting on Friday.
We have converted some of our books onto the e-service digitized platform, and we make sure that the accommodations are available for those students who are blind, who are hearing impaired.
Dr. Troop adds that remuneration is also provided for caregivers chosen by the parents to support the student at school. In other news, more than 275 households in north central Clarendon are now receiving potable water after the Red Mud and Post Pond Road pipeline replacement project was recently commissioned into service. The 0.5-kilometer transmission line was replaced at a cost of $11 million, improving the supply to residents of New Longville, New Roads, Chapelton, Woodhall, Summerfield, and surrounding environs. Minister with responsibility for water, Matthew Samuda, says there are other such projects planned for Clarendon, including Woodhall.
Water is not simply life as we frame it. It is the basis of all human activity. It is the basis of all life, and as the basis of our life, it is the very basis of economic activity. It is one of the reasons why we will have to invest heavily in water and sewage supply, and sewage connections rather, for North Central Clarendon to ensure that the true economic prospects. A project of this nature, it opens up economic possibilities, but for me it brings human dignity. It brings the quality of life that our people deserve. We're very clear that there are massive challenges, and I want to declare up front, this is not the total fix that you require in Woodhall for your water. It is an important first step as we repair the network.
Tourism Minister Edmund Bartlett says major plans have been drafted for the development of Negril over the next 5 years, including the addition of almost 5,000 hotel rooms. Minister Bartlett gave the update while speaking at the recent unveiling of the Negril welcome sign. He says discussions have started between several government ministries and stakeholders in Negril on aspects of the development, which is to be rolled out over time. The close to 5,000 new rooms will include a 1,000-room hotel at Rhodes Hall, a new property at Ocean Point, and the expansion of the Princess, Palladium, Sandals, and Beaches properties.
The development of the Negril is a holistic one, and it involves a number of ministers and agencies and departments of government, and we're all working together. We started the Destination Reimagining program, and we had some technical work done. We have a report just after we finished the St. Thomas destination report. We have the Negril one that is to come.
Minister Bartlett adds that with Jamaica making swift strides in its recovery from the pandemic, Negril has been making a remarkable contribution, accounting for about 1/3 of the more than $3 billion earned by the industry so far this year. The existing beach park in Negril is also earmarked for rehabilitation to Pattern Harmony Beach Park in Montego Bay. And finally, Lieutenant General Rocky Meade has been appointed as Cabinet Secretary and Head of the Public Service. He will assume the role on October 1. Lieutenant General Meade will succeed Ambassador Douglas Saunders, who has been serving in both positions since June 2008. In a release, Prime Minister Andrew Holness thanked Ambassador Saunders for his decades of committed service, which he did with integrity and accountability to the government and the people of Jamaica. Likewise, the Prime Minister expresses confidence in Lieutenant General Meade, saying his years of experience in government will be an asset to the public service. In responding to his appointment, Lieutenant General Meade says he is humbled and honored and pledges to further the positive evolution of the public service for the benefit of the wider society. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Theodore Henry. Thanks for watching.
$234 Jamaicans have lost their lives in motor vehicle collisions in the first half of this year. Life is precious. Don't be a statistic. Drive with care.
The proceeding was brought to you by the Office of the Prime Minister.
Coming up next, the week that was in the Office of the Prime Minister.
Prime Minister announces 12 days of mourning in honor of the late Queen Elizabeth II, opens St. John Bosco Vocational Training Centre in Manchester, and hosts Education Town Hall. You're watching Jamaica House Weekly. I'm Anthony Morgan. Jamaica is currently in a 12-day period of mourning following the September 8 death of Head of State Queen Elizabeth II. The British monarch passed away at age 96 following a 70-year reign. Upon hearing news of the Queen's passing, Prime Minister Andrew Holness announced a period of mourning, which will end on September 19 when the Queen is buried.
I'm sure we'll all agree that the Queen was a portrait of dignity in how she conducted the affairs of state, and she remains an exemplar in leadership. May her soul rest in peace and light eternal shine on her.
As part of the observation, a national day of mourning is set for September 18, and all flags are being flown at half-mast. Condolence books have also been opened at King's House and the offices of custodies in all parishes. Prime Minister Andrew Holness was on hand Thursday to view the Jamaica 60th edition of the Kingston Biennial entitled Pressure. The exhibition, which is on display at the National Gallery in downtown Kingston, will be mounted until December 31. It features artwork from 24 Jamaican artists based locally and in the diaspora. The Prime Minister also received over 30 pieces of artwork on behalf of the National Gallery. They were donated by the estate of the late Jamaican artist Dr. David Boxer. Some of the artwork, which includes sculptures and paintings, have been donated to the government for placement in the soon-to-be-built Houses of Parliament complex at Hero Circle.
Our Parliament will be not just a building, it will be a monument to Jamaica. A monument to our struggles for freedom, a monument to our independence, a monument of our sovereignty, a monument of our freedom, and the symbolization of our aspiration for greatness. So it is important that within that monument is a collection of our great art, which is, again, a symbol of our culture. The award you receive this evening is not only to recognize your achievements, it is also a symbol of appreciation of your mission of molding the most important asset of our island nation, our youth.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness commending the 2021 and 2022 recipients of the Prime Minister's Medal of Appreciation for Service to Education. The award ceremony was held on Thursday evening. 80 educators were recognized for their service to the sector. By Friday, the Prime Minister was at Jamaica College hosting a face-to-face town hall meeting on education. He told the gathering that the Ministry of Education and Youth was finalizing the creation of internal units to carry out the recommendations outlined in the Reform of Education in Jamaica 2021 report. Mr. Holness asserted that for education transformation to take place, the ministry had to embrace the change and alter its existing framework. The Prime Minister also revealed that the process of recruiting a Chief Transformation Officer had begun. The Chief Transformation Officer will complement the work of the Education Transformation Committee, which is led by Dr. Adrian Stokes.
The transformation must be internal. The ministry itself must embrace the transformation. The ministry itself must see the benefit of the transformation, and the people in the ministry must lead the transformation.
Earlier in the week, the Prime Minister was in Manchester to open the St. John Bosco Vocational Training Centre. The institution offers certification from the Ministry of Education and City and Guilds and the Heart NSTA Trust, as well as apprenticeship. These will be offered in the areas of culinary arts, agriculture, information technology, customer service and contact center, as well as office applications. Mr. Holness has urged more institutions to align their program offerings to supply in-demand jobs across new and emerging sectors.
Now, all of these are very important skills that serve, for example, the quick service industry, our hotel and hospitality industry, our BPO services. These are critical skills, and they are skills that are required in these expanding service areas. So today, it's a great day for the St. John Bosco Center, but it's also a great day for Jamaica.
The Prime Minister says government is taking a deliberate approach to training the labour force to meet the local and international demands. According to Mr. Holness, labour training could become an industry as the country has sufficient institutions to prepare persons to provide local labour as well as export labour to other countries.
When we plan the use of our labour resources, we can satisfy our local demand and give opportunities for persons who would want to work overseas, which becomes eventually a foreign exchange.
And last Monday saw the Prime Minister in discussions with the President of the United Nations General Assembly's 76th session, Abdullah Shahid. Education, youth, debt financing and climate change were among the talking points at that meeting. His Excellency Shahid was on a 3-day working visit to the island. And that's it for Jamaica House Weekly. Be sure to join us next time for more of the news stories coming out of the office of the Prime Minister.
Over the past weeks, we've been getting to know leaders who are committed to building a better public sector. The series continues with Audrey Sewell, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation.
Hi.
How are you doing?
How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing? How's the day so far?
Going very well. Going as planned.
It's going as planned.
Going as planned.
And oftentimes when we plan our days, it doesn't go like that. And we often have to put things in place like rituals. So
Yes.
starting off the day, we have morning rituals. I have one. What are your morning rituals?
Well, my morning ritual, starting from home, I presume. Yes, I get up early, 4 o'clock, sometimes 4:35. Go through my usual devotions. That's a way of life for me. And make my breakfast. I do make my own breakfast, and I actually cook breakfast. I prepare my breakfast, take to work with me, and leave home to get to the office on time for my usual very hectic schedule.
Tell us exactly, what do you do?
It's hard to define the work of a permanent secretary, but the permanent secretary really is the person who oversees everything in a ministry.
What was the most difficult decision that you had to make recently?
When I was told that my then chief technical director, Wayne Robertson, was selected, I was going to lose him. He was selected and appointed as permanent secretary in the new ministry. It was difficult because I was asked to release him, and you know, when you're in government, when you're shifting staff, you have to get release from whether the permanent secretary or the supervisor. It was hard for me because I know it would have been a great loss in terms of the support that I would have been, I would be losing. By the way, we have been talking. Would you like some water, a cup of tea or so?
I'll take the water to go.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, I'll take it to go. What inspires you? What's the thing that inspires you most? Or where do you draw your inspiration from?
You know, people may believe that working in government, it is boring. But for me, no. I am inspired by the fact that we have so many projects being undertaken in our ministry, both ministries. I feel at all times that I am making a difference. I am making a contribution. So when we have some of these large infrastructure projects, for instance, when you start with it from scratch, as they would say, from inception, from the concept, and you're involved in all the preparatory work and the implementation, and to see it come to fruition, you feel a sense of satisfaction.
At the end of the day, when the sun has set on your time in the public sector and you're walking away and you can become a fly on the wall and persons are talking about you, you're talking about your legacy, what would that sound like? What do you want that to sound like?
I would want it to sound like I came and I made a difference.
What's one thing your staff would say about you? What one short thing that you do on a regular basis, or they can look forward to you doing that's individual to you?
What is it now? Well, I know what they will say about me.
What it is
that I am miserable. I am a stickler for excellence and perfection. I'm a perfectionist. Mm-hmm. And I keep saying to them, I want what you're supposed to give. I want you to give your best as I tried to give my best. So, you know, they would tell you that, PS, yes, I operate an open door. Any staff can come into my office anytime with anything personal. But no matter how close you think you are with her, if you don't do the work, you're going to have a problem with her.
And then they can fly off the wall and leave.
Yeah. yes.
In your role as permanent secretary, you have traveled all over. You have seen many places. Tell me one place that stands out to you. It doesn't have to be the most significant, but somewhere that your travels in the role has taken you to.
You know, strange enough, it's down under.
Australia.
Australia and New Zealand.
Aside from the Bible, which other book would you recommend for reading?
The last book I read that has left an impression on me, it's Princess. It's a book that speaks to how women are viewed in their society and how they are treated. And there's some stories there. It was about a princess from a particular culture and what they went through as women.
I've taken up enough of your time. Thank you so much for allowing me to intrude on your day and for chatting with us. You know, keep doing the good work, and thank you once again.
And thanks for dropping in.
Oh.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for the water too.
Oh, you're most welcome. All right, have a good evening.
Have a good one yourself.
Thank you.
To dance means to move rhythmically to music. One would then think that you have to hear music to dance. Today we're here to tell and show you otherwise. Keep watching for more.
There's a sort of purposeful selection of the sequence in these human movements. The symbolic significance of hands massaging the air and feet beating to the vibrations of songs. They're focused, energized, ready, and raring to go. If you think about it, they are just like you and I. Well, of course, that's if you can dance. But one thing might be different.
I've been there for 23 years, and I've been dancing for 10 years. I've been there for 21 years, and I've been dancing for 14 years. So I've been hard of hearing ever since I was born until now. And I've been dancing for 16 years.
Yes, persons like Christoph, Kimberly, and Damani dance. And despite nature's act of removing a seemingly valuable aspect of their senses, these three are pursuing a certificate in dance at the Edna Manley College of the Visual and Performing Arts, but not without some challenges.
Well, my experience here, at first, when the three of us just arrived, were a bit awkward in terms of communicating, but then we were able to learn from each other, learning from the hearing students, and we were able to we had issues as well with the rhythm, keeping up with the rhythm at all times, but then we were eventually able to catch up and we started to improve gradually. So for me, my main issue is timing. So I try to work along closely with the other students in the class and the teacher as well, and then eventually I'm able to catch up with the timing in terms of the music. So my challenge during class, it's really to ensure that my body is moving with the timing and the music.
Deaf dancers do move on the beat and in one accord with the rhythm. But the surprising element in this for most persons is just how are they able to, or even why did they choose dance?
I hear a little of the music and I can feel the vibration on the floor as well. So it's not that bad for me. So I use that method throughout.
With his sense of touch heightened through his loss of hearing, Damani can interpret the music through the vibrations he feels. Deaf dancers are visual learners, so for them, their instructors sign the moves or the counts. While other dancers are busy remembering the details of the moves, those like Damani, Kimberly, and Christoph are counting, keeping time, and watching keenly what their hearing peers are doing so they can interpret the steps.
So I chose to study dancing because dancing is my life. It's my passion ever since. So I want to learn more and more about dancing. I don't want to give up. I don't want to stop. I want to continue. Because my goal is to become a dancer in the future. So when I'm finished at Endemani College, I want to become a dancer and I want to perform around the world. So my goal is to become a dance teacher so that I can empower younger deaf children who really love dancing and empower them so that they can, be as good as I am. It's their turn.
But for acting dean at the School of Dance, being deaf is not the biggest obstacle for becoming a great dancer.
I don't want to describe what we have as challenges. I want to describe them as opportunities to learn. What fundamental to dance is the ability to demonstrate and for the dancer to use their eyes and observe and learn the experience in a visual way and then demonstrate what it is that they have been taught. I think one of the interesting things about the deaf students is that their other senses are heightened. And so they're able to access the information in other ways and quite differently from the hearing students. So it's very interesting to see the learning dynamics, but the end result and the objective or the learning outcome of the experience are still achieved. And we're very happy about that because ultimately we want them to succeed.
And while for the school it is the first time opening its gates to persons like Christoph, Kimberly, and Damani to study dance,
they're eager to receive the information. And we're inspired by this drive to learn and to succeed. So even though we have an interpreter, the interpreter is also learning from the experience because we have interpreters who have never been in a school environment like this where dance is concerned. So they're also learning new language. It somehow feels as though they've brought more to us.
For many of the deaf community, the fear of fitting in lingers. But for Christoph, Kimberly, and Damani, dancing is passion-driven and determination-ruled.
Well, I hope that what we have done here at the Endemani College in terms of opening our doors to 3 deaf students will encourage others and inspire them to go after their dreams.
So I remember in high school, there was a quote that says, "I believe I can achieve." I go by that. So in the Bible, it talks about, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. I believe I can achieve.
Let us resolve our family disputes peacefully. A family is a circle of love, support, and strength. Violence has no place.
Vision 2030 Jamaica introduces a new paradigm which redefines the strategic direction for Jamaica and puts us on a different path, a path that will lead to sustainable prosperity. We are all contributors and we are empowered to create a healthy landscape. Make your actions count for the better. This is where we leave you, but like clockwork, we'll be here again tomorrow. Until then, I'm Adrian Atkinson. The production team thanks you for your continued viewership. Do take care.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.